So are we supposed to start the podcast?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
It is a great day at the I've Had It podcasting studios. Mima defies.
I'm going to have to take a victory lap on that clap. I'm sorry. That was a fantastic clap.
You defy all of the aging elderly rumors with a robust clap like that.
I mean, it's hard to be as good of a clapper as me.
Mima, what have you had it with?
What I have fucking had it with is the racket that is senior in high school graduation. I've had it up to my eyeballs. I'm sick to death of it. I get at least 5 or 6 graduation invites every day. Parties, assemblies, circle jerks of last moments. It's too much. It's too much. Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to say this. It's going to be unpopular with the moms of other seniors, 50-50. They're not curing cancer. They're not solving world peace. They're graduating from fucking high school. I agree. Give them a party. Do a little thing with your family. But these parties are out of control. And in my particular party, everyone was like, well, are we going to overdo invites? Are we, how many people are we going to invite? I'm like, so I respond on a group text, which I hate, and I've had it with. I respond, nobody wants to fucking go to these parties.
Mima.
Nobody. It's stupid. Everybody wants to do something for their own kid, and that's it.
Yeah.
I have fucking had it with senior and high school racket graduation stuff. It's just ridiculous.
How was your group text received?
It was ignored.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just want everybody to know, nobody wants to go to these parties. So it doesn't matter if it's at 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 in the morning. Nobody is enthusiastic about going to these stupid ass parties.
The mediocrity parade in America continues and rages on. And people are feeding this, enabling this, and I commend you. And I present to you the I've Had It profile and courage for your bravery in a Power Mom group text.
Yes.
Again, you've proven that anything is possible at an advanced age. And for you to go dunk on the Power Moms in the group text like that reminds me as to why you're my soulmate. I have never been prouder nor felt closer to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it because I don't think everybody feels that way, but I sure do. And I appreciate my confidant and my soulmate for having my back.
I'm really proud of you. And I have had it with the over-celebrating Power Mom bullshit. I've had it. It's because what happens is then these kids go out into young adulthood and they have debilitating anxiety because nobody is celebrating them for doing normal activities and what is expected. If you attend high school, it is expected that you graduate from high school. And so I commend you. I think I hear you and I'm really proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Let me tell you what I've had it with.
Okay.
You go to dinner with some people that you want to catch up with.
Right.
And you haven't seen them in a long time, and you have some tea that needs to be discussed, and you want to do it in a way to where this dinner buys you a 3 to 4 month respite from having to do it again.
Right, where you can just give yourself a whole calendar of not having to do it.
Right. And then you show up to the dinner, and you sit down, and at the table right next to you are some other friends / acquaintances that number one, you don't want them to hear the tea that is about to be spilled. And number two, they start making it a group dinner.
There's nothing worse than that.
And they start yakking in and, oh my gosh, did I tell you this? Oh, how are your kids doing? And all of a sudden, the one knockout chance that you have to give this person that you care about, we're going to do this dinner. It's going to be an hour and a half situation. And then we're going to GTFO and then we can meet each other again the next quarter, is completely hijacked because then you've run into 2 or 3 yahoos that are injecting themselves into your dinner. And it's a big problem. And I don't like to go out very much. So when I do, to have a dinner hijacked by yak mouths that are seated next to me that I know, it's a real bummer.
I'll tell you what that is. It's like you want to look at them and say, here's the thing. If I wanted to go to dinner with you, I would have invited you.
Yep.
But by the fact that you're not sitting at my table, shut the fuck up and mind your own business.
Yes.
It's unbelievable how much that happens.
It is. It happens all the time, especially in a city like Oklahoma City.
Right, where it's small.
And I eat at typically the same 5 restaurants all the time. I'm a creature of habit. I'm not really food-wise adventurous at all. Somebody's like, oh, there's a great new restaurant. You got to try it. I think, I'm good.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, everybody's going to be there, which means I don't want to be there.
Right, it means it's going to be crowded. The service is going to be bad.
So then I show up at a place that I know is a good standby, and I'm actually invited other people to go to dinner with Josh and me. Josh and I might even be side-sitting at this point. I mean, real intimate. And then all of a sudden I find out these people I know, fringe-wise, are injecting themselves into the dinner. I've had it. I don't like it. There's no self-awareness. And they always just seem a little bit too jolly.
Too eager to be a part. I agree.
Welcome to I've Had It. I'm Jennifer.
I'm Angie.
She is our Meemaw. She is America's Meemaw, America's greatest legal mind. It is pistols firing on the podcast today with, a firecracker of a clap and a banger of a grievance. It's going to be a great episode. Seth is in here with us today. Seth, do you have any reviews on Apple that you can read for us?
Okay, I've got a couple reviews. Apologies, I'm rusty at this. I've just been unleashed by Kylie. If you need a podcast to help support and guide you on your positive mindset journey, this is it. Princess Diana Meemaw and the pickleball player are shining beacons of hope, love, inspiration, and uplifting energy. Also, they're full of great advice, such as kitten heels for men and the best way to deal with constipation. 5 stars.
I tell you what, I agree.
I mean, could there be anything more accurate than that review? I just don't think so.
Beacons of light and positivity.
Beacons of happiness, hope, and kitten heels.
I'll tell you what. That's just feed our egos more. Seth, what else do you have for us?
Okay, this is another 5-star. I can't take it anymore. I'm submitting a review while driving on way to court-ordered therapy because I'm bone weary and beaten down by Jennifer's breathless, dogged, indefatigable badgering. For the love of God, please let me be the 10,000th review and put an end to this torrent of verbal abuse.
Court-ordered therapy.
I love that.
I'll tell you what. You see, sometimes you just got to browbeat.
Right. And I will say your browbeating has been successful.
It's working. And guess what, listeners? We hit the 10,000.
We did.
Now we're going to start browbeating for 20. So
Make it stop. No.
Listen up, listeners. Listen up. Everybody, pull your car over and give us the 5-star review ASAP, because Meemaw doesn't have that much more time with us.
Right. We don't know how long I'm going to live.
We desperately, and all she wants to see is that 20,000 people like her. But it's not that much to ask.
And you can even hate us. As long as your 1-star review is at least somewhat witty.
Yeah, I you know what? I used to say I didn't care about the 1-star. I just don't want it to hurt our rating. So let's go 5-star, then browbeat.
Right. Give us 5-star.
5-star, then browbeat.
Then say the meanest things you want to say, we're in.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Thank you very much, Seth. I'm glad that you were released from your dungeon of editing to join us today in today's uplifting, inspirational.
That's right.
Hashtag happy place, hashtag blessed blessing episode.
You forgot one thing.
What?
Patriots. We're all patriots.
Listen
here.
up, patriots. Listen up, patriots. All right. we have this cult on Patreon that we're rather obsessed with. And they submit their hadits. And speaking of patriots, I have one grievance that I would like to read to you all today. All right. One of our favorite cult members is a gal named Lucy from Boston.
Yep.
And Lucy has a grievance. And she writes into the cult and says, Jennifer reminded me today when talking about Trump's posts, I fucking had it with bad grammar, particularly in written communication, like it's a deal breaker having you in my life. I'll allow maybe one mistake, but if it happens again, adios. Particularly cringy are your, Y-O-U-R, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E.
Right.
There, and 222. Those absolutely sit in my craw. Also, I don't know anyone else who does this, but Trump talking in the third person makes me homicidal. P.S. No one point out my grammatical errors in this post. I'm just like Lucy. I cannot stand the grammatical errors. And then if I go back and I posted something and then somebody's commenting and I see the grammatical error, I die 1,000 deaths on the inside, especially the one she's talking about, the your, there, and 222.
My number one hatred of those three is 222. And my youngest child fucks it up every single time.
You know what you need to do? I'll tell you exactly what you need to do.
Tell me.
Screenshot every time he messes it up. And then get all of those screenshots together and email the private school that you've been paying for his education and say, I would like a refund for all of these years that I have outsourced his education to you all because I oppose fundamentally homeschooling. But I can tell you one thing, had I homeschooled him, he would know how to use 222.
That would not be a problem had I been in charge. What I do is I always respond back no matter what it is. Like, will you check me out? Will you do this? Can I do this? If it's wrong, I always send it back and correct it. And I don't answer. And it makes him crazy. But here's the thing. Do you think it gets better? No. It just continues.
Teenage boys just, the give a fuck meter
is broken.
Yeah, completely.
And also, I'll tell you this. I don't even think they teach grammar in schools anymore.
They do it at the schools that my kids go to.
But I mean, overwhelmingly, I hear people say that they're not the commas, the apostrophes, the semicolons. Like, that's just gone by the wayside.
Let me ask you this. Are you pro Oxford comma or anti Oxford comma?
I'm a big comma person.
I'm
team comma.
I am all chips in on the Oxford comma. I think it's very important. I think that the Oxford comma always needs to be there. And I think we need to fight the war against the Oxford comma and be pro Oxford comma as a podcast and as mothers and as patriots.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. Kara says, after coming back from Disney this week, the general public of all ages, all backgrounds, where is the nearest cave to hide in silence?
Okay, I'm going to say this. When you have little kids, you have to go to Disney. That's just one of those things you have to do. So every time I would have to take a kid to Disney, I would be like, I'm going to the most miserable place on earth. It's not the happiest. It is the most miserable. Everything about it is everything I hate.
What about fucking Disney adults?
Fucking Disney adults, I just don't get that one bit at all. I just don't understand why anybody would get married at Disney. I don't understand why they would go on their honeymoon to Disney. I think to go to Disney and enjoy it, you have to have little kids.
Okay, I'm gonna lean into a little bit of a nuance here. I have enjoyed myself at Disneyland with my children. I genuinely have. As an adult, would you and I like, oh, we're in LA. I think we're going to go to Disneyland for the day.
Fuck no.
No. Would Josh and I be like, hey, let's go renew our vows at Disneyland? No. Would I think like, it's a girls' weekend. Let's go to Disneyland? Fuck no. But when I've taken my kids there and I've seen the joy on their faces, contrary to my reputation on the internet, I do have moments of softness and kindness where I saw the joy in my children's eyes and my cold black heart warmed a snitch, just a tiny bit. However, I am so fucking pro Disney.
Me too.
Because Governor Kittenhills, the big Republican, the big pro-business, has tried to go to war with Disney. And Disney's going to outlive his terms as governor.
Yes.
And he will forever be the lackluster, dumb fuck, personality, short man that wears kitten heels, aka the nickname Governor Kitten Heels, that tried to take on a multi-billion-dollar corporation. So I say go Disney, fuck Kitten Heels, but also in the same vein, because we're capable of having compound feelings. Disney adults, I think it's weird. Do what you want to do. It's a free country. I don't get it. I think maybe we're cold-hearted, horrible people, but also, and maybe more accurately, Disney adults are the weird ones.
I think Disney adults are the weird ones. I do have a person I DM with on Instagram, and he is a gay man. And he said all of his friends always want to go to Disney. So he got drunk. He sends me a text. He's like, I got drunk and I agreed to go to Disney. And that's exactly what I said about Kitten Hills. I was like, here's the deal. I'm anti-Disney adult. However, on the flip side, I want every dollar going into Disney as much as possible to fuck Kitten Hills.
Right.
So that's my caveat. Like, it's okay to go to Disney now as a Disney adult.
It's fine. And here's the deal.
Because you're fucking Kitten Hills.
Disney also trolls the right wing so brilliantly. Like, this shit I could give two shits about. I think it's wonderful. I think it's awesome. They make the Little Mermaid black.
Love.
I think it's fantastic. Fox News, Stage 5 meltdown, racism on full display. So there's a lot of great things about Disney. As a day trip,
Absolutely.
it can be a minefield of grievances, and I've had it.
Right. It kind of is right up there with like TSA and airport travel in terms of grievances.
Pumps, how many times in your life have you thought, am I going crazy? My personality just completely changed, like somebody flipped a switch.
It is unbelievable how much hormones change how you feel about yourself and other people. That's why I'm so happy we have both discovered Happy Mammoth's Hormone Harmony.
Hormone Harmony helps relieve PMS symptoms. It helps reduce cravings. It relieves mild mood swings, and it boosts energy. And it helps women get better, more restful sleep at night. Listener, Pumps and I started taking this, and we cannot impress upon you how different we feel after doing so. Our moods are stable, and it also helps reduce occasional bloating and gas. Hormone Harmony is so popular and so effective, they sell a bottle every 24 seconds. There are over 13,000 Hormone Harmony reviews on the Happy Mammoths website alone. Listener, you can get your first bottle of Hormone Harmony for 15% off if you use the code HADIT on the checkout page. Go to happymammoth.com and be sure to enter our promo code HADIT on the checkout page for 15% off. Pumps, I love our lumens. Listener, we've got to tell you what we've been up to. We've discovered Lumen, and Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath. And on the app, it lets you know if you're burning fat, carbs, and gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workouts, sleep, and even stress management.
Lumen is such a great product to use first thing in the morning. You know instantly what's going on with your metabolism and whether you're burning mostly fats or carbs.
Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for that day based on your measurements. The deal is your metabolism is your body's engine. It's how your body turns the food you eat into fuel that keeps you going. Lumen gives you the recommendations to improve your metabolic health. After getting to know you through your breath, Lumen gives you a metabolic flex score that you can track and improve upon. Listener, if you want to take the next step in improving your health, go to lumen.me and use the code HADIT to get $100 off your Lumen. That is LUMEN.me and use the code HADIT at checkout for $100 off. Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode of I've Had It. Okay, next up is Judith. Judith says, your April 19th show got me to become a member of your Patreon. You two are so right on about Christian extremists. I have been saying this to whoever would listen since the 70s. People need to hear it again and again because I too have had it with these people pretending to be and do good when in reality they are trying to imprison with shame, laws, and bullying anyone that won't accept their beliefs as truth. I've had it, and thank you so much for your work. Judith, I live in the buckle of the Bible Belt, and I can report from the crime scene that extreme Christianity is so detrimental to the general public. It lacks empathy. It likes to ridicule poor people, people that are on government programs. These are the same people that are watching Fox News that are wound up about Ariel, the mermaid, having darker skin.
Correct.
These are the same people that oppose sex education for in schools. And I will remind the listener that we are genetically hardwired to fuck. Millions of years
Of that.
of genetic encoding to do that. And it is an incredibly dangerous thing. And here's just we talked about this on our documentary club on Patreon, but it's fascinating to me that Oklahoma, a very religious state, fell prey to domestic terrorism and had a federal building blown up. Yet the majority of the people in this state vote for basically the types of people that are all chips in on January 6th and domestic terrorism type gun, doomsday prepping type stuff. All of this stuff lives in the same reality. Far-right Christianity and anti-government, pro-guns, anti-women, white Christian nationalism is such a massive threat, and everybody needs to start talking about it and beating the drum because as a group, these people do not care about the greater good.
No, it's a very selfish way to govern. And here's what my problem is with it. You have Christians, you have Muslims, you have Jews, you have Hindu, you have a million different religions. Atheists. No one's religious beliefs are above another person's. Everyone's religious beliefs should be respected. And government and religion should always be separated. But what we have in Oklahoma and what is the shit's rolling downhill nationally is that Christian values and Christian beliefs should be put on everyone. And I think it's wrong. I think it's a violation of the Constitution. And I think it is so dangerous to give someone's religion government rights. It is absolutely, positively against what everything the founders came to and founded the United States for. And I'm tired of the judgment. I'm tired of the homophobia. I'm tired of the racial discrimination. I am so fucking tired of guns. God and guns, God and guns. To me, killing innocent people, innocent children while they're at school has nothing to do with your religion, nor should it. And it is amazing to me how many people sit around and say, oh, well, I'll pray for you when you lost a child to gun violence, or, God and guns. Fuck you. Fuck your guns.
I agree. And these Christians, far-right Christians, they like to say they're pro-life, but they are not.
They're not.
We need to start calling them the anti-life Republicans because they don't give a shit about anything about any person once that person is born. They don't care about poor people.
No.
They don't care about health care. They don't care about poor people receiving health care. It is, once you're born, it is a fuck you. You better go out there and do what you need to do to make it on your own. You have look at you. You have a minimum wage job, you loser. You're on food stamps, you loser. Look at all these homeless people. These homeless people are disgusting. They don't give a fuck. Trump separates children that are refugees from their parents at the border, and they are celebrating this. Mm-hmm. And it is just the cruelest sect of Christianity. And I've had it. Judith will keep beating this drum because we see it. We see the hypocrisy every single day. These people, they care about the pettiest of petty things, and they don't give a shit about truly helping other people, because in the United States, sadly, we are taught about individualism and not collectivism. And what we see right now is we are paying the biggest price for that. And it's really, really sad. Side note, vote blue. Okay. Kimberly says, I have had it with parents who make out of control lunches for kids. I'm talking sandwiches cut into star shapes, sushi with all sorts of sauce options, raw vegetables and nuts made into faces or some shit, etc. What a waste of your damn time. And then they have to post a picture of the lunch to show everyone what a great parent they are. You know, those kids are barely even eating any of that and or throwing it around and wasting it. Save yourself all the effort and slap in a bag of chips and a regular bread-shaped peanut butter sandwich and call it a day. I freaking had it.
I could not agree with that more. The performative lunch making for little kids is, first of all, it's the most asinine thing I've ever seen. Number one, they don't give a shit. They don't notice. It is for the other parents and for yourself.
And for their Instagram post.
And for their Instagram. And if it's like, I feel better about myself because I made a sandwich in the shape of a starfish. I'm like, that tells me all I need to know about you.
I mean, I think the underbelly of all of this performative parenting is, for some people, they're working, they're stressed out, they're trying to figure out how to pay bills. And once they get the kids to bed, they might get on Instagram and they're just trying to like stay afloat, right? And then you see all of these performative mothers dunking on everybody on the internet. And then all of a sudden, because they feel so vulnerable, they might feel insecure and they might think, oh God, what is that life like where you have the time to make food art for your child's lunch? And so on the surface, it's annoying, it's ridiculous. And Kimberly's right, because it's just throw the food in there. The kid doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
But the underbelly of all of this performative mothering is, I think it hits a lot of people that are reality-based moms.
Right.
That are parenting in reality. That shit every now and then is fun to do. But every day trying to make your kid's life a 10 leads your kid to being the biggest pussy in the real world, because nobody is making this kind of shit a big deal when you're an adult. Hence your original grievance about the graduations. And I mean, I don't know about you, but lunch is lunch.
Lunch is lunch.
Every day. And as a kid and as an adult, make the birthday lunch special.
Right.
You know, but I've had it with all of that too.
Well, it kind of goes back to, if everything is special all the time, then nothing is really special.
Right.
It's just not.
Okay, Steve says, I've had it with parents who can't even go to a bar without their fucking kids. Charlotte is becoming a mecca of local breweries. We have a new one in the suburbs, and these dumbass people can't even visit without their entire family. The owners even built a playpen for the snot monsters.
Ew.
I'm going early next time and pour my beer all over that turf area. That and establish a GoFundMe for their childcare. I've had it.
Here's the deal. Get a fucking babysitter. There are places for adults. There are places for kids.
I'll tell you what else I've had it with in this same vein. Recently, you and I went to dinner with some friends in Washington, D.C. at a very adult restaurant. It was a nice restaurant, a steakhouse, and we're having a very adult, interesting conversation. 2 tables down, there is a family with a yelling toddler.
Yelling.
And the parent never tells the child to zip it, nor picks the child up and walks the child outside. When Josh and I had toddlers and babies as kids, when we would go to dinner, the minute one of them started screaming, Josh or I would swoop the child up and exit the restaurant. It wouldn't matter if it was raining outside, frigid, or miserably hot. We got the child out of the restaurant because we have self-awareness to the other diners that they do not want to hear our children scream, because we know this, because we don't want to hear our children scream. And this child, when we were in DC, was just going on. And I kept kind of eyeing down at the parents. And I thought, the parents are entitled.
Absolutely.
The child is going to be entitled. This is a disaster. And all four of us that were at dinner together were so annoyed by this. And I just have the awareness. Yes, you want to try to get out of the house. I get that you feel like you're in kid jail all the time at home and you want to go get waited on. The second that kid gets out of control, scoop them up. I can't tell you how many times, listener, Josh and I would place the order and then shit started falling out of the sky. And I would be like, can you go ahead and put that into go boxes?
Just box it up.
We're going to have to eat it at home. We cannot stay at this restaurant. We're removing ourselves from the restaurant. We're kicking ourselves out.
Right. And if it's just like a run-of-the-mill routine restaurant, you just have to immediately take the kid out. But we were in a very nice, like there was ambiance created, all that. And all four of us separately, someone said, why are they not removing that child from this restaurant?
Yeah, it's disturbing.
It's disturbing.
Okay. Angela says, I live in a condo community. I rent a parking spot for my neighbor's mom. Said neighbor had been leaving shit at my door, quote, to be nice, for 3 years. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to lose the spot. Last week, she left grocery-bagged cucumbers at my door. They were shriveled and leaking. That was the breaking point. I went straight back to her door and said, please stop leaving things at my door. Does this look acceptable to you? I've had it. Here's a list of other things she's left at my door. The actual list is way longer. A Trader Joe's bag of dishwasher liquid sample packets filled to the brim. A box of open but unused pads. 2 of those barrel-shaped juices from preschool years. A book on mental health. A fucking dollar store Easter sign that said, he is risen.
I mean, that's bad.
What the fuck?
Here's the deal. It's like some people can't just throw shit away. Just
What
throw
about
that shit away.
The maxi pads.
I mean, what?
The more we do this podcast and we get these reports from out in the battlefield, the more I come to the conclusion people are just fucking weird.
Fucking weird. I have a friend that her mother-in-law goes to the dollar store or a garage sale and gets stuff for her that she, like this year she got her a deer ashtray. She's never smoked in her whole life. It's a deer ashtray and then a dress that could have fit half of Oklahoma City in it and brings it over in a paper sack. So I think sometimes these people are being dicks on purpose. I mean, I think sometimes they want to insult you. And then if you call them on it, they can go, well, oh my gosh, I just was trying to get you a nice gift. It's like, no, you weren't. You got me a deer ashtray from 1964 and I don't smoke. Fucking crazy ass people.
Homes.com knows that when it comes to home shopping, it's never just about the house or condo. It's about the home. And what makes a home is more than just the house or property. It's the location and neighborhood. If you have kids, it's also schools, nearby parks, and transportation options. That's why Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth information they need to find the right home. And when I say in-depth, I'm talking deep. Each listing features comprehensive information about the neighborhood, complete with a video guide. They also have details about schools with test scores, state rankings, and student-to-teacher ratio. They even have an agent directory with the sales history of each agent. So, when it comes to finding a home, not just a house, this is everything you need to know, all in one place, homes.com. We've done your homework. Okay, Kyle says, I've had it with people who say, quote, I'm a good person. Kyle says, am I alone here? To me, it's only acceptable for other people to call you a good person. You can't call yourself a good person because you're biased toward yourself and you're delusional most likely. And you don't have to deal with you and your borderline psychotic personality. I've absolutely had it with that. Kyle, I completely agree. And Pumps and I have had a long-standing agreement, and that people who make declarative statements like, I have a big heart.
I have a big heart. He has a great heart.
I'm a good person. And where they have to point out, you know, and I'll tell you the most obvious person that does this, that everybody's going to be grotesquely familiar with, is Trump.
Right.
I have the best this. I have the best that. I have the largest crowd side. All of these declarative statements typically point to a lie.
Absolutely. And we've always said, if somebody has to tell you how great their heart is or what a good person they are, it means their actions are telling you that they are not that. Mm-hmm. So when you're telling me, when somebody says, oh my gosh, I am so, I'm so soft-hearted, I'm so empathetic, I immediately know they're not.
Right.
I immediately know they're an asshole. And there's no better example.
Prime example of this goes back to one of our other, Judith, I believe it was, that posted, are the extremist Christians.
Yeah.
I don't judge. Then they say, I don't see color.
Right.
And they say, oh, I don't have a problem with the gays. Oh, it's not my business if people have premarital sex. And they give a fuck about every single bit of those things. So it's bullshit.
Judgment.
They say they're not judgmental. They are. They say they love everybody. They don't. It's a cult. It is an anti-life death cult. And you can quote me on that.
Okay, we'll do it in the permanent record.
All right. Last one. I've had it with Spirit Week at school.
Agree.
Listen, I'm doing good to even get my kids to school, and it's a miracle if they are on time. I do not have the time or the interest. Also, make sure that they have crazy hair, wild socks, a specific Disney shirt, Easter Bunny hair, a Grinch outfit, Dr. Seuss, t-shirt, or whatever other bullshit that these teachers and PTA moms throw together for no apparent good reason. I've had it with the fundraising, and I've had it with the spirit-themed weeks. Just tell me where to send the check and how much, and let me bring my kids to school 1 minute before it starts with whatever fuckery outfit they decided to put on for the day. Annie needs to lead the anti-PTA movement.
Yes, she does.
The anti-power mob movement, because I agree with this. All of these ideas do nothing but punish the parents.
Right.
And if you're a working parent and then your kid doesn't tell you that they have to have something until the next morning, oh, it's actually this day and you have to spike my hair up. It's just enough.
See, I had forgot. Annie brings up a great point because our kids are past this. But this is the most obnoxious thing on the planet. And I'll tell you what, it's the PTA moms that have nothing better to do than sit around and think of all these bullshit spirit weeks and bullshit hair ideas and different outfits to wear. Because if you have multiple kids and you have a job and you have a life outside of what your kid going to dress up for Crazy Hair Week, you don't have fucking time. And you know what? You don't have any fucking interest because it's stupid.
I completely agree.
I agree.
I've had it with this shit.
Had it.
And I have been so surprised at how much high school has changed from when we were in it.
Oh my gosh. I was thinking about this
to now that our kids are in high school. The parent involvement in high school is psychotic.
Psychotic.
This is the age where you genuinely start teaching autonomy. The parents should barely ever, if ever, be emailed. And the email should only be about, hey, your kid's flunking algebra.
Right.
Hey, your kid's ditched school today. All of these updates, and your kid needs to sign up for this, and your kid needs to sign up for this. Have the kids do it. Most of them are driving to high school.
Right.
So why the fuck are you emailing me to do all this crap? The group me for my son, that's a junior in high school, the group me for his class, and the parent involvement is grotesque, codependent, psychotic, enabling, Pussyville, USA. I've had it up to my eyeballs. No wonder these kids are having so much anxiety, because we're sending them a message that you're not capable of handling your own shit. When I was in high school, I handled all my own shit. And if I didn't, then I had to suffer the consequence of that. My parents were never at the high school.
Never.
They weren't involved in parent meetings because I was practically an adult. I was in that in-between stage from I'm just about to leave the nest. It is so alarming. And I think it's an insult to teenagers that parents are assuming that they have to handle all of the stuff for these kids, that the kids should be taking pride and advocating for themselves, or doing it like the rest of the adults have to do. I hate to fill out this form, but I have to do it because that's life.
Here's the deal. I want to take it one step further. I agree
Let's go.
wholeheartedly with everything that you've said. But what I find is that some of these parents get their rocks off.
Oh, yeah.
By going to the school and being at the kids' school all the time. You're not in fucking high school. You're not in fucking middle school. You're not in fucking elementary school. Go have an adult life with adult issues. Do not sit around the kids' school all the time. I think it's fucking weird.
It's psychotic and weird. And the administrators of these schools, and I know the parents, I know it's a nightmare being a teacher
poor teachers.
because of these fucking parents.
Yes.
They need to have a wall
Agree.
that says, we will contact you if your child's sick, your child ditched, your child's flunking, your child has behavioral issues. Other than that, let us teach your child autonomy as a part of their education, and conflict resolution skills and responsibility to fill out forms, get money to buy certain things, prom tickets, homecoming dance, etc. These moms doing everything for their kids is so unhelpful and psychotic. And the parents that are helicoptering up around the school all the time, I have a message for you. The teachers hate your guts.
Hate your guts.
The cool moms, like Pumps and me, hate your guts and talk about you behind your back 24/7, 365. There are also text messages devoted to how crazy of a psycho you are. And there's a bunch of other moms that group me on that because they can bond over your craziness, and nobody likes it at all. And you're harming your child. Teach your child to start advocating for themselves and taking their own responsibility, because when they get into the adult world, if you start showing up to their job, everybody's going to think you're a nut and your child's a pussy, and then your child's going to get fired, and it's all been for naught.
All been for naught. All that work you did being at the high school, being at the middle school, they get fired because you're up there not letting them be a grown up. I fucking had it.
The best way to parent when you start getting teenagers is to let them go out and make mistakes and start to experience suffering and conflict and resolution skills and all of these things. If not, they are not going to succeed as adults and are going to have debilitating anxiety and stressors, all unnecessarily because you were too codependent to let your child live their own life. And you intercept when you need to. I've had it with this. It is obnoxious.
It's obnoxious.
And it's dangerous, and it does a disservice to a whole new generation of children. I've had it. Stick with us for more hot takes and join us for our after show on Patreon. Right now, go to Patreon, I've had it, and join our cult. We have a lot of fun stuff going on there. Go buy our merch, and Pumps, tell them.
We will see you next Tuesday or Thursday or both.